So this is super uncomfortable for a musician to talk about, but it is a very necessary thing for us to talk about when we are passing along our skills in a classroom setting. In that you are going to have the best, most amazing days of your life because you genuinely feel like you are making a difference in the world. And then you're going to have days when you just want to pull all your hair out because no one wants to listen to you and everyone's just in a bad mood. And that happens, right? That's just human nature. However, when you're working with students, you have to be very careful about how you're going about things because these are very sensitive souls. These are learning and growing souls, right? So you want to be very gentle. However, you have to, I don't know how you say it, stick to your guns. You have to get your point across in a very consistent way. And that is the most important thing when working in a classroom is consistency. If you're having a horrible day, if you are in a grumpy mood, if you missed your morning coffee, you can't bring that into the classroom as a teacher because that mood carries over to the students. If you're in a grumpy, horrible mood, they're going to adopt that mood really quickly. And if it's vice versa, if you come in really happy and all the kids are in a horrible mood and they don't want to do anything and they are talking back and not participating, that's a really tricky thing, especially for a musician who is starting to give lessons for the first time because you don't necessarily ever see yourself in the role of a disciplinarian, and I hate to use that word disciplinarian. Um, However, you're never going to get anything done if you just let them kind of go wild, I guess. So what I've done and what I continue to do with working in a classroom setting, giving music lessons, is really relying on the supports in the school to find out what I should do, right? So before you even um, talk to a student in a school, really talk to your superintendent or your principal, your vice principals, the social workers in the school. Let them know what you're coming to do, what your lessons are, and what the best way to deal with it is. And was really fortunate in my experiences. I had great administrative support where if someone wasn't willing to participate or they were maybe not following school protocol or things like that, I would just have to send them to the office. And um, and that was in like very bad situations where they were like yelling and screaming and things like that. You send them to the school office. I don't think you should have to deal with that, especially if you are just a musician trying to give music lessons. You shouldn't have to deal with that. Um, but there are things that you can deal with on your own, like grabbing their attention. You don't want to use your voice that you would use speaking to your best friend sitting sitting around at home, right? Where you're very like how I'm talking right now, just very laid back and chill because the students get nothing from that, and that sets a tone that they will take advantage of very quickly. They're like, "Oh, chill music teacher. I'm going to go crazy for this class because I can because this guy's not going to get mad at me." And you're not going to get mad at them. That's true. Um, However, they grab that tone as children, like, right? They are constantly soaking in information, and what they know of like a chill, relaxed person is that we can probably do whatever we want in this situation, but you have music to teach. So you have to, and goes into such specific detail, and I'm sorry for being so weird about this, but sit up straight, have a smile on your face. Make sure you're looking at each and every one of them in the eye, getting to know them. Make sure you are learning their names, right? I'm horrible with names, but I really fake it till I make it. I really fake it till I make it and knowing their names. And that's really important. The clarity in your voice. Make sure you're speaking in a consistent, clear, steady tone. I've had students when I first started ask me, well, why are you talking so fast? And I realized my nervousness was coming across to them because they are used to their teachers in their classrooms, and their teachers are using a very loud, consistent tone. Not loud, what we call teacher voice. It's up there though. And they are talking very consistently, right? They're not going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They are making sure every word is heard by their students because that's the only way to get the point across. Um, So yeah, back to the student that was like, "You're talking way too fast," and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I am just so excited to be here teaching you." Right? You can't show that nervousness because they will take advantage of that nervousness. I promise you, they will. Um, yeah, just being very clear and consistent, and then you don't have to deal with a lot of the disciplinary actions or anything like that. When you're being very steady, you're giving them your lessons and the words that you have to share in a very slow, steady way, and yeah, just showing them that you're there to teach. And this sounds kind of harsh too, but you're not there to be best friends. Unfortunately, you're there to be their teacher, their guide, their mentor, and they expect that of you, right? They don't want to come and hang out with their best friends a lot of the time. They want to come to learn, and so you have to fill that role. And I know that's an uncomfortable role for a lot of people to try and adopt or to try and fit into. But it's so important that you do become that role. When you are leading a classroom, when you are leading a lesson, you have to be clear, consistent, and get your point across in the most digestible way, if that makes any sense. And yeah, then you can kind of skip past a lot of that disciplinary stuff. But yeah, definitely rely on a lot of your school administrators for uh, for the knowledge on how to do that. Because every school is different. Every music lesson place is different. You know, if you're doing your own lessons, you get to figure out what you want, right? But when you're in a school setting, definitely talk to anyone you can about what you should be doing in the classroom and what that school's specific rules are. Also, the greatest tool that I've ever come across in working in schools up north is that a lot of these schools are lucky enough to have elders. And go talk to these elders. Go find out what you can add into your lessons from their teachings. You know, talk to them, bring them an offering. A lot of elders accept cloth and tobacco. But do your check on your protocols and go approach these elders and ask for guidance and help, because that was a lifesaver in my time teaching, is talking to them, because you never want to impose upon these kids like your, for lack of better terms, colonial way. A lot of us have learnt music from like Royal Conservatory, or we've taken formal music lessons, right? And that's a very colonial way of going about it, and that's like one way, right? I guess, but there's ways, and we're working towards better ways of finding these. I don't know if you want to call them traditional ways or brand new ways of working towards a better future altogether. And I think that working with an elder and seeking guidance on that is always the best way to go about it. So all this, bring up to an elder, and you'll